So welcome very well to this session. Yeah, my name is Barbara Kainz. I'm from dataspot, and this is a workshop. I mean, in 25 minutes, I cannot force you to work with me. So I will work for you. So I have prepared a lot of cards and some posters and all that stuff. Yeah, and you know there will be a test in the end of the session. So take care. Okay, so. First thing, normally we would describe ourselves as data passionists, yeah? So my colleagues here in the back, yeah, mainly Michael and me, who founded dataspot 5 years ago, we would say we are data passionists. But in the meantime, I have to say, are we really data passionists? Who is a data passionist? Hands up. Come on, yeah? Who's reading his emails? It's okay. So, are we data passionists? I would say maybe not. Why not? Why are we not data passionists? Because, and when every one of you talks about data, what are you doing? In fact, you are talking about your business, right? It's not the data, it's the business. So I would assume we are all business passionists, right? So what are we doing with data? We support the business, right? So that's exactly what we also want to do. But data is the perfect format to define your business, right? This is what you do when you talk about business data. So in fact, we are also data passionists. So, and this is the story about it. I want to introduce just a brief life cycle of, let's say, the business. Yeah, so there is a life cycle. And when we try to implement data excellence, as we call it, because data governance is too small, yeah, in our minds, we take advantage of a lot of life cycles. Life cycle of data, life cycle of data quality, we will come to that. But this is the life cycle about business. And Basti from Vistaprint, is he here? No? He said today, every business starts with a business design. Yeah, without glasses, it's hard. So, in the beginning, you start with a business idea. Either you shape a completely new business, or you have a business question or something like this. So what are you doing next? Hopefully, most of the times, you create a business plan. You try to figure out if you could work out what you need for that and so on. And then, easy, you go for something, and I have to declare, most of the times I'm missing that, for the business definition. We will see what that means. Hopefully you go ahead with business execution, and to figure out if it works out well, you will steer your business, so business steering, okay? And maybe you adopt them. So I think it's easy to follow. Yeah, this is a really simple life cycle out of that. But let's talk about now, my cheat sheet, about the business definition. What does that mean? What would we need for business definition? A little work from you. How would you be able, with what kind of artifacts or assets, to define your business? So if you completely shape it newly, what would you need for it? Come on. You know, I will move forward to you. You have an idea. Come on.
Data objects and KPIs.
Right? So, data, I agree. And not only from a data perspective, but from the business perspective. What's the, let's say, the other half of that? Data alone does nothing, like
Process.
Yes, process and function. So process are functions. In the digital world, you would only talk about functions, but in fact, it's business functions, either digital or not. So right ahead of the processes. So, thing is, my TIXO. It's called in English TIXO. The one thing is how you make your business. And the other thing is what is the business. And this is represented in data. You agree? Anyone who does not agree? You don't agree?
I mean, there would be maybe a why, no? Somewhere.
Pardon?
There would maybe a why. There should be a strategy somehow, right?
I hope the why is in here.
Sorry, I couldn't really.
Yeah? I hope. I mean, it's not always there. Yeah? I agree. You need a why. Otherwise, you would not start. Or you take the risk. Okay? So, business execution means to spin it off from the data side, yeah, because this is what we focus on. What happens here regarding data? Anyone any idea? In the phase, I mean in the normal business life, yeah, everyday life, operational business, yeah, what happens regarding data? It's too easy, I think, the question, right?
They are used and archived.
You use data, yeah, and?
Create, maintain, use.
Pardon?
Create,
Yes.
maintain, and use.
Yes, yes. You produce data all day long, if you want or not. This is the reason why we have to define the business in business data. So we will document the business as data. So all this information about the business is created here on a daily basis. Yeah? So I mean real time. So every day, every second, something happens and you document it. I mean, you know, I'm pretty old, to be honest. So when I started in school for business administration, I was there was one story about accounting, and we had, you know, I don't know how to call it in English, diese Karteikästen, yeah. So you had these pieces of paper inside, yeah, where you noted all the stuff that you did, yeah, on the accounts and so on. Today it's digital, yeah, but at that time it's the same. So you produce data even on paper or digital or wherever you do it. Yeah. And when you go for business steering, what do you need regarding data?
Insights.
Yes. And what would be, like, say, the asset or the artifact behind that? Yeah, behind insight would be an decisions, yeah, based on analysis, reports, KPIs, right? I told you I will not work alone. Okay, so how do we come to that? One thing is, as we're talking about business, this kind of data, who are the people who can declare that? Bad question. Is it IT?
No.
No.
People in the business.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you need IT, no issue, yeah. But the definition of your business data, reflecting your business, has to come out of business. I mean, I'm affected by data now since, I don't know, 30 years plus, yeah. And then we had the times where IT, mainly in banks, said, I know exactly what they need. We don't have to talk about, they don't have a clue. We will do that, yeah. But the times has changed, right? So, first picture. I don't know if you can read anything there behind. I will try to.
We will provide it.
Yeah. So, just to summarize, yeah, we're talking about the business functions, where the data comes from, and where you need data to document your business, and the business process, yeah, which produce every day the basic data, like all the business objects and all the categories you need, yeah, to work on in the processes. And then you go ahead, yeah, here with the metrics and the measurements and the reports. So this is what it's about, what you have to declare. I mean, even if you go for some analysis, yeah, you hang out here, yeah. And it's the same like you have a not predefined measure. So that would mean what? What do we need? On the one hand, more work. homework for you. You need metadata to know everything about your data. So you need data to know everything about your business, and you need metadata to know everything about your data. And which kind of metadata is that? It's data about semantics, right? This is what everyone hopefully wants to know, yeah, and wants to be according to, and how, what do we want to need about KPIs? Your business departments, if I provide a KPI to them, fully fresh, implemented somewhere, what would they ask?
Definition.
Definition and?
Formula. The formula.
Formula, yeah, so the derivation out of it, yeah, the lineage of that, right? But it's from a business perspective still. I mean, I love the IT, yeah, not to misunderstand you or anything, but the definition how a KPI, how information is produced, is from a business perspective. Yeah? IT would follow, would implement that, right? What else do we want to know about data we want to use? So which metadata up to that would we need? Is lay a sheet of paper on your desk with some KPIs on it, yeah? I leave it, I go back, yeah, and you find it, what would you ask?
Ownership. The ownership with
Ownership, right, yeah, so responsibility. Who is responsible for that definition, for that data? It would make even a difference who is responsible for the definition and who is responsible for what's in the data, right? Because the people who define data are not the same who produce it. Because these are the people in the business definitions, the business experts, and these are the data producers, so the people in the everyday process, yeah? So you need to know about your data governance organization. What else do you need to know? Would you use the data?
I mean, it depends quite a bit if I trust you or not.
Okay, you don't know me. Would you trust me? What would you need to trust me?
First of all, I would be a bit cautious if you bring it to me on a printed sheet of paper. I have to feel results, but
Great, yeah.
and I need transparency.
Yes. So, know how it's produced, right?
data
Accuracy,
quality.
right? So you're talking about data quality, right? So even if you can read it there, yeah, we want to know everything about the data quality of all the data you needed to produce that information, right? So this is also connected on the metadata. What else?
Well, data quality to my view is twofold, right? Because on one hand you have the standards.
Mm-hmm.
So what
Yes.
kind of expectations do I have on this data?
Yes,
And
correct.
And the other part is what is the reality of the data quality on the information that I'm sharing now.
True, true, yeah, true. So a complex topic, let's say, or a broad topic at all, and connected to the question of understanding the data and who's owning the data, yeah, who's responsible for the data, yeah, who has to fix that if it's not enough, yeah, if you don't comply with your data quality definitions. Yeah. If you are responsible for data on the business perspective, what else would you need to know?
Who's using it?
Who's
How
using
many
it, right?
processes- How many processes is going to be used?
Processes, reports, people, in fact,
And
behind that.
reporting is also a process, right?
Yes, true, yeah. So the aspects of, here it is, process, yeah, combined to data, as well as data usage clearly, like reports or interfaces, or, for example, we had our first and beloved project with the city of Vienna, yeah, to make them data excellent, and they provide open data, yeah. So they need to know who is using an open data set, because they cannot change it easily, yeah. So you drive your impact if you change something on that, yeah. So, and to help you out, also data protection is a topic, yeah. You need to know if I govern data, yeah, because I'm the one who brings it to you. I need to declare with my business experts in which level of, let's say, privacy and security this data has to be on the different levels, yeah. So meaning the basic data could have a different privacy level than, let's say, a KPI on that, yeah. So every single asset, yeah, from a business perspective has to be declared, yeah, which security settings you would need. It's a good basis on the one hand for IT to implement a proper architecture, and on the other hand, yeah, this is just a side effect you get. You are GDPR compliant on the reporting side. Yeah, so Verarbeitungsverzeichnis, everyone needs to provide that, especially when you combine it with the process data. Okay, so this looks good already, yeah, and here, yeah, we're talking about here, yeah, about the more technical side. So if I govern data, I'm still on the business side, yeah. What do I want to need to know with my IT colleagues? What would I ask them?
What is the physical representation?
Yes, true. Either on the system side, but also really on the database side. So this goes along with your, let's say, expectations or your strategy, how strong you that want to combine. Yeah? So we have, for example, customers that would combine only which business object is in which table, or just in which system, like where's the golden source, where's the single point of truth, however you name it. This is at least what any kind of data consumer is interested in, because when I bring this sheet of paper to, when I send you this digital report, yeah, so to trust me more, you want to know where the data was taken from. So like you said, transparency, yeah, starts also to know where the data originally comes from. Not only how it is produced, yeah, but where it started. And if you have a data quality problem, you have to go back and please fix it there and not in the end. I mean, that never happens, that people in the end correct the data. So, database side, technical lineage, and system, and how to get along with that. We are here in a business definition, right? So if the business definition changes, what happens on the IT side?
You have to adapt.
Yes, you adapt. So first you adapt your business idea, your business definition, yeah? And then you adapt it on the IT side, would mean you have to integrate it fully in your requirements process. If you don't do it, yeah, you will get never rid of any kind of description you ever made. This is the effect of all these projects, you know, we have, I mean, the best I could find is always like Confluence documentation, which is nice, yeah? But after 2 years, you can be sure it's not up to date, yeah? So if you don't integrate metadata, and I'm not talking about Confluence, but metadata, into your requirements engineering process, yeah, you're out. So this is what you need. This is what we do with our software. This is what I'm talking about. And on the other side, we have the processes. Business processes, not my big topic, other specialists, but what would we need to get that all? Not only the requirements process. We need the people that feel responsible, right? Yeah. We need some standards. We need some support from strategic level, right? Who is rolling out data governance in your companies? Who's involved in that? Yeah?
Data governance.
Yes? Who else? Great. Who else? Great. Who else?
Data domain owners?
Yes. It's a part of data governance, right? So, this is the other topic we handle. Yeah. So, which topics do you have to, let's say, create and deliver like a how, but not the how of your business, but the how of your governance? Yeah? You would go for a strategic backing, hopefully. Sometimes it's at the end of the phase. Yeah. In the best case, it starts with that. Yeah. But who has ever tried to bring up data governance in his own company? You started with that? To whom did you go?
CEO.
CEO, great. So you started top down, you?
No, I mean,
No chance?
From department level, so but not on top.
Yeah, okay, so you try to come out in the middle management, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it starts out from IT, because they understand that they cannot provide all these business definitions, right? So they start to bring up on the requirement cycle kind of metadata and so on, and then bring it up. This is what I mean when I say could be at the end of the story, yeah, but at some, let's say, breaking point, you would need it anyway. And in the end, you need money and people, yeah, and culture. And what's in this data excellence framework? Yeah. So what would you have to provide on top of that metadata? So to get your metadata, and back metadata would support the governance. But because in the end you don't want to have metadata, you want to have full qualified data available, trusted, transparent, and so on. Yeah. So one thing is to know about that, and the other thing is, as I said, data governance organization. Business data model, so you need on top to the metadata, you need a standard, yeah? And you would need kind of policies to implement it. Have you created policies?
Yeah, I mean, from principle.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so you start with description of the principle.
Yes.
Then you go with some description of some policy, and then you try to implement.
Yes. So sometimes we cheat in our projects. At the beginning we say it's a standard, yeah, or it's like a framework, and then it, you know, comes up if you get this support to policy. Sometimes it's not called policy because it's not needed, but most of the time I experienced that, yeah, that you would go for that. So you need a policy or a standard for all that stuff regarding your business data model, your your categories. The most underestimated topic in data, I think, it's categories. Why?
What is categories?
Like category lists. For example, customer classification.
Mm.
Yeah. Why would you go for a list of customer classification? Why would you create it? Because it's so awful to produce that, right? You want to introduce it to the people who give a shit on that, right? But why do we do it?
To tailor the business objectives.
Yes, yeah, to get steering information. So these categories are the major support for your steering, yeah.
The categories in data attributes, or?
I mean, no. I mean, really, categorization, like, let's say, of business objects, like, I don't know, a group A, let's say, quality A customer, a quality B customer, a quality C customer, yeah? And then you operate on that information, or you steer on that information, yeah? Which branch are you, industry?
Retail and production.
Retail. So you have a lot of product classifications, right? Why do you do that? You have to handle something with that, right? I don't know operative processes, yeah? Where to put that stuff and I don't know what, yeah? How to sell it, how to buy it, so mainly on an operational steering basis. And I would assume on top, on the full steering of the company, some of these categories will also influence the steering information, right? So this is the reason why I'm such a big fan of this kind of reference data, is it called? Yeah, or steering categorizations, because normally they don't have an owner. Yeah, so that is something you have also to apply with your data excellence framework. Yeah, so bringing this responsibility, all that stuff, yeah, also to data quality. So meaning, how is the process to go for data quality enablement and corrections? Yeah. How to, I mean, exactly what I told you here, but here is the how to and how to implement that, yeah, and how to get force on that, yeah. Meaning policy on the requirements engineering, on, let's say, reporting governance, yeah, and all the other stuff, yeah. So when we then talk about data excellence as dataspot, yeah, because we come from the data side and we figured out over 20 years plus, yeah, how it is in fact, yeah, garbage in, garbage out, yeah. I remember the days when they told me the data warehouse is shit. I said the data warehouse is not shit, but your data is shit, right? I mean, this is where we all started. So data excellence for us means metadata plus data excellence framework, bringing that into life as a piece, yeah, of your business functions. Yeah? So this influences parts of your business functions here in the execution, yeah? And shaping the standards for that. Any questions?
You were talking about reporting governance, but to my view, reporting governance, I mean, what is interesting is now to understand the scope of your data excellence. If you really only target the excellence on terms, so objects, attribute, KPIs, or if you try to target all data assets. And if you, my experience is that if you try to address all data assets, I cannot read from them.
Yeah.
But if you try to address all data assets, you need more than data domains, because you need a certain clusterization of your terms, for which that we call data domains, for instance. But when it comes to information, we need another clustering of them.
Yes.
So it's what I wanted to understand really your scope here.
So data, as we call it, data usage objects, yeah, could be like a report or a new data product, whatever, yeah, would also have a business representation, yeah, in a separate catalog, in a data usage catalog, yeah, or maybe a lot of them, yeah, and normally they have a different responsibility to the responsibility regarding the basic data, yeah. This is exactly how we handle it, yeah, because normally the organizations where we work in, they try to follow this basic responsibility up to exactly that data product, and it doesn't fit anymore because you go crossover, right? Yeah, and these are different people. So if you look, yeah, all this together. I mean, we did not put it here, yeah, because it would be here.
Data domains, right? How do you define data domains? No, below. Below on the. Here. No, on the slide below. No,
sorry. Data domains. Okay.
Exactly,
this is really per topic here, yeah, because it's different. The domain, yeah, you have to cut the topics into to get the responsibility for it, yeah. So, for example, collections, yeah, that's how it's called in our software. You can rename it anyway, yeah. Would be on the basic level would be data domain, yeah. On the data usage level would be a data usage domain, which is normally different. I mean, some of them would fit, yeah, but then you have on top these cross layers, right? And the same goes, for example, projects. When you go for requirements engineering, you would have different collections, because normally, for example, you stick to something like application domains, yeah? This is how you normally organize your requirements engineering, yeah, from the IT perspective, for example. What has to be clear is how you cut it and who is responsible for it, yeah? So this is like a, let's say, a multi-dimensional system, yeah? And then every level you have to individualize how the cuts are and how this responsibility would be, yeah?
How do you help to solve the incentive problems between different parties that are responsible for producing and consumption of data?
Yeah. Good. I mean, this is a major question, right? The one thing is, to be honest, sometimes I try to discuss why the people who go for the business execution on a daily basis, if they are maybe the right persons to provide, let's say, the data quality in the first place. Yeah. For example, in the banks, you know, banking has moved on in the branches out there, that all the people there, the employees, are kind of sellers, yeah? Like 20, 30 years ago, they were like, I don't know, Beamter, yeah, more. I started in that time, yeah, you had my experience there. But today they stand outside there, even in the corporate sector, yeah, and try to sell the products of the bank. Is this person the right one to provide fully qualified customer data, for example? Yeah, so these kind of questions you have to ask, because some banks, for example, have decided to provide this kind of data in service functions. Yes? And this is not a bad idea, because it's more cheap than to lose, yeah, business out there because this person cannot move on. So one thing, yeah. The second thing is you have to go for more empathy. If someone, let's stick with the banking problem, if someone out there in the branch on selling something doesn't understand, if he would not provide like the correct country of residence or something like this, yeah, which would have an influence on the risk calculation, which comes back, yeah, as an uplift on the risk, for example, yeah, he will not move anything, yeah. So understanding the business more, so really understanding the business is a big question. And the other thing is, to be honest, a mixture between KPIs and incentives. Incentives for the start, and KPIs, but top down here, yeah, for all of them. I made the experience rolling out data governance, like 1-2 years with data quality management on board, yeah, it was nice, yeah, but when all, yeah, the CEOs, CFOs, and so on over all countries, it was an international project, yeah, received KPIs on data quality, they started to move. Therefore, you need this stake from here. Yeah? So not one answer on that, yeah, but a mix out of that.
Sorry, we're gonna have to wrap it up if that's okay.
Anyway, we're around here, even until tomorrow. If you want to have some of these posters, you can grab one there, or at the end of the second day, maybe not to carry it along. Yeah. So feel invited and yeah, visit me.
Thank you.